Okay, it fits. I can't see myself because of the sun right now, but I think it's doing what we want it to do. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 228 of the Love and Stitches podcast. We are on the side of the road in a rest area as a truck goes by, Oravada, Nevada. I think I'm saying that right. It's kind of fun to say. It is currently 76 degrees, but it feels way hotter than that. It is warming up. It is starting to feel like summer. I don't know if it's warming up where you are. Maybe you're in the southern hemisphere and it's getting colder, but it actually feels so great to be wearing a tank top and shorts and sandals. And I have some fun things to show you today. It's been 2 weeks since I podcasted, which means I've got lots of progress to show you. I actually took a little bit of time off knitting. I just over knit for a little bit. Oh, thank you. The sun went away for just a second. Can you still see me? Hopefully so. But I had to take a few days off of knitting last week. Also was a little bit sick, so just kind of needed to skip a week of podcasting, but I'm back and I am knitting and I am crocheting and I am so excited to show you what I have for you this week. We're going to start with one of my brand new projects. I had a swatch to show you last time, but now I have like a third of a sweater. Granted, it's a very short sweater. So this is the Sporti Shrug by Jacqueline Sayslak, and I am using Ritual Dyes, which I got when I was at Ritual Dyes in Portland, Oregon on the Rose City Yarn Crawl. I love this yarn so much. I loved it when I picked it out and I love it even more knitting it. It is a 2-ply fingering weight Rambouillet wool. It's so squishy, so nice. I'm still, I still very much love superwash yarns, but I am starting to understand the appeal of the non-superwash wools and just the great properties that they have. So this is definitely helping me get into that. This colorway is called Chromite and it's a really nice dark gray. So I cast this on a couple of weeks ago and then I proceeded to just fly through it. Now, this has a lot of negative ease and it's ribbing. So it looks very small. I mean, well, don't want to hit my microphone, but it's very small. But I have blocked this. So it's grown a little bit since when I was knitting it. I have a picture of it next to my hand and it is just microscopic. It looks so, so tiny, but it does fit. I tried it on before I blocked it, I believe, and we're going to try it on today post blocking before I put the sleeves on. So this pattern has worked from the top down. I started at the back and worked like the shoulders separately, join them together, and you work the whole back. And then you pick up the fronts, work one, work the other, join them together, cast them on here, and then work to the same length as the back. And then you join them under the arms. There's some, you can see like the back is longer than the front because there is what's called short rows across the back. And then it is bound off with I-cord. I'm not actually sure if you can see that right now. But yeah, it's bound off with an I-cord, which is really, really nice. And then I went ahead and did the neckline as well because I wanted to go ahead and see how that looked too. So I've got a lot of ends sticking out. As soon as I try this on and make sure it's fitting me, I'm going to weave in all the ends that I can, and then I will just have sleeves to go. So this sweater, the reason that I wanted to make it is I want to have something to wear while I'm hiking. And these are the tank tops that I like to wear while we're hiking. But a lot of the times when we start out early in the morning, it's cold. It's like 50 degrees. And then pretty quickly as you start walking around, the sun's coming up, the day's warming up, it gets really, really hot. And I wanted to have a layer that would be very perfect for that transition. So something that's going to keep me warm, but not too hot. And I loved the idea of this shrug that it would be, it comes only to like right here. It's a very, 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 very cropped. You can actually make this into a full-size sweater. The instructions are in the pattern for that. It can be a shrug, which is what I'm doing, cropped, or a full-length sweater. And then they also have a tank top that goes with this. It's a separate pattern. I did not buy the tank top because I'm planning to wear like this athletic material tank top, but I wanted it to be something I could use for hiking. And I love that the sleeves have thumb holes in them. So they're super long sleeves with thumb holes. I don't know. I just think that's going to be such a cool vibe. So let me try this on. We're going to try this on together. Hold on. I'm going to pull this off because we do not want the mic getting bumped. Okay, it fits. I can't see myself because of the sun right now, but I think it's doing what we want it to do. It seems right. I believe this will obviously come out a little bit more once it has sleeves on it. It's got the sleeve where you like pick it up and then you do short rows and then work the rest of it in the round. So I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. Very cropped, very much just a layer. I feel like it probably looks really awkward right now, but I think it will look better when it has sleeves on it. I can't see. I can't see at all. But I do love the way that this feels. So I'm very excited to continue working on this. This is the thing that caused me my thumb issues because I just could not stop working on this. We had lots of driving and then I was like, on to the next part, on to the next part. And it was so satisfying because after, you know how fun it is in a sweater when you're going through the yoke and you're doing increases and decreases and different patterning. And then you get to the body and you're like, oh, now I have to knit for like 15 inches or 9 inches or something. You don't have to do that on this one. It's just all entertainment the whole time. Now I just have to grind through the sleeves, but now that I've tried it on, I'll go try it on where I can actually take a look at it in our tiny mirror in our van and make a final decision. But I'm going to say it's ready to go for sleeves. We are in the middle of a 6-hour drive and we stopped here just to film the podcast, but we are literally in the middle of nowhere. It's dinner time and luckily we have come prepared because we were just staying with some friends and we got to receive a Factor delivery. Let's see what we got this week. I love all the Factor meals, but I am especially excited to try this one because I haven't had it before. It's the peanut Buddha bowl, so I think that's what I'm gonna do for dinner. Gotta grab my knitted hot pad so it doesn't get too hot for my hands in the microwave. These are so easy to make. You just take off the sleeve, make sure you get your fork and poke some holes, and then you just throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes. You just heat and then eat. Since we have 2 minutes while we wait for it to heat up, how about I tell you 2 of my favorite things about Factor. Factor's meals are fresh and never frozen, and they're ready to go in the microwave and straight to your plate. I love that I don't have anything to clean up, especially when we're in the van and water is such a precious resource. This really saves us time. Factor doesn't just have meals, they also have tons of yummy snacks to try. You can round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons to suit various tastes and preferences. There's breakfast items like apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon and cheddar egg bites, and potato egg and bacon breakfast skillet, or for an easy wellness boost, you can try any of their refreshing beverages. Since I've just spent an hour outside in the heat, I think I'm gonna have one of these right now. I think I'll do the apple, kale, and wheatgrass, and our food is ready. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code NATTY50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next box. That's code NATTY50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next box while your subscription is active. Now, back to the podcast. Next up, I have a bit of a cozy parade. I have been working on the cozies, so my goal is to do them one at a time. And if you didn't know, we are doing a cozy along for the entire month of May. It's something that I started last year because I have several different patterns for cozies. I have yarn cozies and beverage cozies. And then this year I decided I want somebody else to do this with me. Like, it's more fun when there's more people. So Leslie, who is Knit California, just came out with an e-reader cozy. And so I asked her to join in with me to host this make along, and we're hosting it together. We also have a Discord that is totally free to join. So come on over there if you want extra opportunities to win prizes. But essentially the make along is knit or crochet on cozies patterns from either one of us, and then you post them on Instagram with the hashtag CozyAlong2024. If you join into our Discord, which again, it's completely free, there are threads for whips and finished objects, which we're also drawing prizes from. And then we have a help thread too, if you need help with the patterns. But more than that, it's just fun to see everyone post their projects in the Discord. So let's see. I have all of them here in one bag, but I want to go chronologically. So the first one is this one. This is Leslie's pattern. This is the Knit e-reader cozy. So I am using yarn from Super Glow, and this yarn is really, really fun. It's called Rain Glow, and it's a really beautiful purple, white, pink, kind of gray purple-y color. It's so pretty. It's a DK weight yarn, and I was like, oh, this will be perfect for the cozy. So for the e-reader cozy, this one, did I already say, is Leslie's pattern. You can use DK or fingering weight held double, and in her pattern, she walks you through the yardage and grams for either one of those options. She also has 3 different sizes in there for different Kindles, and then she has a gauge calculator for you to make it for your own e-reader if you have a different one. Some people have also made this cozy, but like for totally different things, like an iPad, a phone, a notebook. The ideas are really creative and it's really fun. I also did not do any stripes like there is in the original pattern. And then there's also different closure options. So I brought my Kindle out here. So I went down a needle size. I think the recommended size is a US 4. I'm a loose knitter, so I went ahead and went to a US 3, and I did not gauge swatch. I figured I'll just cast on. If it's too loose, too tight, I'll just rip it back and start it over. But I liked my gauge, and then I tried it with my Kindle, and it seemed to be fitting just fine. Now that I'm done with it, I probably could have used a few less stitches. I don't think I could have gone down a needle size because it would have been too dense. Like at some point, you just can't make any smaller fabric without changing the way you knit, right? You need to change the yarn or something else. Even changing your needles doesn't work. So I liked the fabric. I just probably could have used a few less stitches, but I can do that on my next one. I really like that this works with my case. I don't actually use my case except when I'm traveling. So I have a cozy and a case for travel, and then I have another fabric one that I use that my friend Olivia made that I really, really like. So I love that I get to use all of them. However, I'm using the information from this one to make one for my mom because I think she'll really like this color. She's a big purple person and she has the same Kindle as me. I was gonna look at like what strange book they've suggested for me on the ad. Do you get that on your Kindle? Like you open it up and it suggests a book that has nothing to do with the books that you read and you're like, why? Anyway, I don't know what this book is, but her Kindle is about the same size as mine without the case. So I'm gonna kind of like line them up, figure out how many fewer stitches I need to do, and there you go. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring it out, but I just bought today some elastic. I decided to go with like what I feel like is the easiest option. What did I not need things for? There's a zippered option, a magnetic closure option, and then this one is just like an I-cord bind off. I did go down a needle size for the I-cord bind off, but mine didn't really get tighter. I might have needed to go down maybe 2 sizes, but I bought some elastic cord today, the really thin kind, and I think I can feed it through this I-cord and kind of cinch it up a little bit. So I'm gonna try that, but I just got it today and we'll see how that works. If it doesn't work well, then when I cast on my mom's cozy, I'll do something a little more polished. But for me, this is perfect. I love it so much and I really like the way that the yarn came out too. So one cozy at a time. After I finished my e-reader cozy, I was ready. I had my yarn cozy next on deck. Ah, here comes the sun. And we don't have clouds for a while, so it's going to be bright. So next I started a yarn cozy. This is one of my patterns. It's called the Yarn Cozy Lite. I did the 100-gram version. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. I did the 100-gram version, and it's already finished. So I started and finished it, and I'm already using it as a yarn cozy. So if you haven't seen the yarn cozies before, this is what they look like. This is how they're meant to be used. So you take your cake and you throw it in here, and then you can pull from the center without having to worry about it collapsing, because doesn't matter what you do or how gentle you are with your yarn cakes. If you use enough of the yarn, eventually it's going to collapse in the middle. And then if you don't have something on it and it's moving around in your project bag, it becomes a huge tangled mess. These will hold on to your yarn cake until there's like 2 grams left. Then it might eventually finally pop out. I think, just because of the friction, I guess, between the 2 yarns, it just holds onto it so well. So these are really, really functional. I just went with the plain and simple option, which is just a rib. So you start at the bottom, work it in the round, and then an I-cord bind off. But I wanted to try something new with this cozy. This is an idea that I don't think that I came up with originally. I'm almost certain somebody gave me this idea a few years ago. And I just haven't had the brain space to execute it. So I decided, well, since I'm making all these cozies, I've made these a zillion times, I can handle trying a little something new. So the little something new that I tried is this little secret surprise right here, where the I-cord is not actually attached to the cozy. So I have wanted to try this for so long. The reason that I really decided, you know what, I need to do this is I was on the plane and I was making this yarn cozy, or was I making the e-reader cozy? I can't remember, but I was on the plane last weekend going to Texas. Sorry. And I was like just knitting away. I had my ball of yarn in my lap and it rolled out of my lap. I was sitting in an aisle seat. It rolled across the aisle and like under the seat of the person next to me and 1 row back. I'm like, okay, that's a bummer, but at least it didn't go that far. We're not taking off or landing or anything. Plane's pretty level, no problem. So I turn around to the person and they're reading and I'm like, excuse me. And they flipped out. I scared them really bad, I guess. They were like, ah, like really dramatically. People are like looking and I'm like, whoa, I just said, excuse me, but this is my fault. So let me make it right. I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I dropped something under your feet. I'm just going to grab it really quick. And I like grabbed it, fed it, turned around, and it was just like, oh my gosh, so embarrassed. Like, what did I just do? Anyway, I don't want that to happen to me anymore. This has happened to me multiple times. I've also dropped a ball of yarn while I was at a theater and it rolled several rows down, and luckily nobody noticed that time, but at intermission I did need to go retrieve it and I had to have people help me pass it back through the aisle seats. Anyway, I needed to come up with a solution to this. So this is my solution. I am going to figure out and design a series of different little handles you can put on your yarn cozies. So this one I really like because it's very subtle. Like now that I've messed with it, you can kind of see it, but it's not really super obvious. It's not going to be in your way when you don't need it. But when you do, it's got just this little thing right here. It should be pretty strong and you can clip a carabiner through it. So if I'm hiking, I could even use it, clip a carabiner through it, or if I'm on the plane, or if I want to clip, like I'm thinking if I have one of those really, really small carabiners, I can clip it onto the netting of the pouch on the airplane, or in some way clip it to something like my bag, anything, so it doesn't roll away. So it doesn't roll away and it doesn't have to like sit on the floor. It will clip to something, and I think that would have saved me on that day. So that's this yarn cozy, but I do have one more, and that's the one I started as soon as I finished this one. So this one, oh wait, I didn't tell you about the yarn. Hold on. Do I have it with me? I do. I still have a ton of this yarn left. It's so fun. It is from, hold on, wait, I have the label right here. is from Lucky Knitter. And this one was gifted to me, so thank you so, so much. It is one of their brand new colorways that just came out last weekend. It's called You Gotta Have It, and it is inspired by Lisa Frank. So really fun. It's not the only colorway they came out with recently, so go check it out if you like fun, bright, retro inspired colorways. So that turned out so pretty. So then I immediately put in another yarn into here and cast on another 100-gram Yarn Cozy Lite. By the way, I think I've shared this recently, but I really love knitting my projects until they're just long enough for me to weave in the end, and then I work the project with no end hanging out. I just love that. Like, cannot wait until I can tie in all those ends that are loose on my sweater because they just drive me nuts. I love working on a piece that looks polished and finished and isn't in my way. I don't know why lately that has been my favorite strange thing to do. Anyway, so no end, woohoo. But this one is from Candy Shop Yarns in Utah. I got this yarn recently to make a, can y'all see that? Oh my gosh, this is so bad, I cannot see. To make one of the Hexies in my blanket, and then I have so much left over, I thought, why not go ahead and make a yarn cozy? So on this one, I'm going to expand on this idea of the little, little spot where you can put a clip, and I'm gonna make the I-cord spot longer, and this time do like a wrist strap. I'm hoping the wrist strap can actually double as sort of a tie, like a loop over, so that you don't have to have an additional piece of hardware in order to make that work. Like this, unless you just have a carabiner on something already, like maybe you do have a carabiner on your backpack or on your water bottle or something, fine. But I'd like to have something where you can just use all yarn. You don't have to get anything else. And that's what I'm hoping to achieve with this one. So it's gonna take me a little while. Probably the cozy along will be over by the time I figure these out. But once I do have kind of a series of modifications you can make to the yarn cozy, I will be adding them to the Ravelry patterns and releasing them. You could do this on any of the cozies. You could even do it on like the can cozy, I think would be kind of cool to kind of have it clipped, somewhere where you need it. But if you do want to try this immediately, I did put notes in my project page on how I did this one, but just know that I will probably make improvements to it as I learn and use this and see how it works. So very pleased with my cozies right now. And if you haven't already, come and join us for the cozy along. Whether you make a cozy or join us on Discord, we're having a lot of fun this month. I totally forgot to share one of the cozies with you. I did not realize until I looked at my notes again that I finished this one in the last 2 weeks as well. So this is the classic can cozy, and I made this one for Kent. This colorway is from the Little Wolf Knits, and it's the Texas Rangers. It's called World Champs. It's a colorway that him and Brianna of the Little Wolf Knits dyed together last year. So it's all finished up. I didn't block it or anything. I don't usually block the cozies because when you use them, especially the beverage ones, you're using them on like a cold beverage that sweats a little bit. It's essentially blocking it, right? So this is what it looks like when it's all done. These are just really fast, really fun, really great for leftovers, and I love them as gifts. I use the one that I made for myself all the time. It's got like bright neon colors on it and sporty little stripes. I just skipped over the stripes on this one. So that was my hiking project. This was cozy number 1 that got finished, and now I'm on, let's see, can cozy, e-reader cozy, yarn cozy, yarn cozy. So my 4th project, which I am very, very proud of. Last project here to show you is my blanket, but thinking about getting this blanket out and in my lap right now when the sun is blazing down sounds horrible. So I'm just going to quickly go through the Hexies that I've added this week, and I will show you them as an overlay so you can really see them up close, because I feel like with the sun and everything, you're not going to be able to see them too perfectly right now anyway. So I've added in 12 Hexies this week. A few were yarns that I had previously gotten, but we've gone to a lot of yarn shops in the last couple of weeks. I will talk more about those in just a minute in our travels. So I have quite a lot to share. So starting in Colorado, first up we have the Salty Blonde Sugar Magnolia, and then my yarn from Lamb Spun called Mother Earth. Then we went into Wyoming. I got Blackbird Sycamore yarn, Wyoming Cowboys, which is just perfect for the cowboys. And another Wyoming yarn, Hummingbird Moon. It's their 2023 limited edition colorway for the yarn store, the yarn and the tail. Then we made it over to Utah. This one is Candy Shop Yarns, which you saw in the cozy. It's Royal Ruby. Then I have several Utah ones. So all these are Utah. Yarn Cafe Creations. This one is Cinnamon Pumpkin Latte. My friend Cindy gifted this one to me. Thank you, Cindy. Then I have the One String. This one is called Grassy. Love Joy Fibers, Seed. The Backcountry Knitter, Desert Rainbow. And then we move into our final state, our most recent state that we've been to, which is Idaho. So this first one is from a dyer in Washington, but I got it in Idaho, and it is a colorway for Three Loves. It's called 2024 Local Yarn Store, Three Loves Edition, and I had to get that. I always love it when it's a store colorway. And then I got some yarn called Bouquet. This one is so fun. And then the last one, I actually cannot remember for the life of me what this dyer is called. So I'll have to put it on the screen because I'm getting the information. But I think they're Knitted Niceties, but the mini skein that I got only says KN. It doesn't say the full name. And I looked and I looked and I looked online and on Instagram, and I could not find it. But this colorway is called Borealis. And since me and probably everyone else looked for the Northern Lights this past week, we thought this was a really fun colorway and another Utah dyer to add in. So you get to see my blanket every week. If this is your first podcast here, come back, I promise, when it's a little bit cooler, when I'm recording early in the morning instead of at 6 o'clock at night. I will hold my blanket out and show it in all of its glory. It's perfect weather for me to show you June's Woolen Women Fibers box. I love receiving these. They're so much fun. So this month, or not this month, June's, you can order it this month through the 21st, is called a Woolen Picnic, and everything is like watermelon themed and super bright and super beautiful. These boxes are so cool because they're not only yarn and like yarny accessories, but a whole immersive experience. So there's always something that has a really good smell. It might be a candle, it might be a wool wash or something else. So we got that this week. Or this month rather. So the yarn this month is called Watermelon. Now, depending on what you order, you may get fingering weight. This one is worsted weight because I ordered the crochet box, and it comes with a pattern. So the knitting pattern, I believe, is watermelon colorwork socks, and the crochet pattern is this bucket hat, which is really cute. This is from Danielle L Design, so it comes with that, and then lots of watermelon themed goodies. So this little project bag is perfect for, I would say, accessories. What did I put in here? Oh, I put the other things in here. Haha. So how fun is this? The little gingham on the inside, like a little picnic table. And then love this watermelon needle cozy. I always try to use these whenever I go into a stadium or something, so my needles don't look so sharp. And then Sam did these really cute watermelon and blueberry and strawberry stitch markers. I love these so much. I'm gonna use these right away, especially with the weather getting warmer. They're super, super cute. This month they also included a craft mix for a Mai Tai. Love that. It says you can use rum, sparkling water, and the mix, or maybe I'll just do sparkling water and the mix. That sounds pretty good. There are a few other fun things in here. Where did I just set that card? Because I'm so bad at describing scents that I need to read from here. Okay, so there is reusable bowl covers to keep those pests away from your picnic and your goodies covered. How cute are these? So there's like a little tiny one, and then a larger one. So if you're having a picnic, you can just cover them up or maybe even use them for putting away leftovers in your fridge. Then there is, let's see, the soy wax candle is watermelon garden mint honeydew. And of course it matches. Ooh, I got a little dog hair on there. Let's smell it. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. It literally smells like the, was it like Hubba Bubba watermelon gum? That's how I would describe it. So good. Smells absolutely amazing. And then there is a wool wash in here. It is peach tangerine mango. Oh, that smells really nice too. I started using the one I got in May's box, and my, I think it was my hat that I washed it in, or maybe it was my cowl, still smells like that, and the scent is so good. So these are amazing. I think that's everything. I mean, come on, that's a ton of stuff. So if you are like, wow, love that, gotta get that, you can order this one through May 21st. Or if you're like, you know, I'm interested in a subscription box, but maybe that's not the one for me, go check out Woolen Women Fibers. I will have my link down below. If you use my link, it gives me just a little bit of kickback for talking about it here on the channel. But I absolutely love working with Woolen Women Fibers. They are so awesome. They did a colorway for me at the beginning of the year, or was it? Yeah, the beginning of the year, the Greatest Yarny Adventure socks. We did make along together. They're just like the most fun people. Andrea and Sam are absolutely amazing. They're sisters and they're really talented. So go check out their stuff, whether you're interested in the box or any of the other things they have. They have so many fun themes. And thank you again to Andrea and Sam for sending me the box month over month. I just absolutely love them. There is so much to share for in our travels because I have 2 weeks to talk about it. So I am going to, wait, 2 weeks to talk about it. I have 2 weeks to share with you. So I'm going to try to be as quick as possible. And I absolutely have to use my notes because I can't even remember what happened today. So let's go back 2 weeks ago to when we were in Utah for the first time. This was 2 Sundays ago. Today is Sunday, I think. Yeah, so this was like exactly 2 weeks ago. So we started out the day at Dinosaur National Monument, which was quite fun. Ooh, actually, there's some trucks pulling in, so I'm gonna have to stop. Okay, I don't think they're gonna be too loud now that they're in and they're off, so we'll keep going. So Dinosaur National Monument, we had a lot of fun there. It was very, very cool. So there's this building you go into that when you're driving around, it just looks like a kind of a small rocky mountain. And then you turn around the corner and you can see that the building is like built into the rock. So I'm like, what is this? I don't understand. We go inside and you come in on the second level, and in the rock is dinosaur bones, like in the rock, like partially excavated. It was so cool. I mean, just hundreds of dinosaur bones, some that looked, were just bones on their own, some that were more like dinosaur shaped. Super, super cool. We spent a long time talking to the ranger there. It was her first day back there working in like several years. So I think she was very excited to share the excitement with us. I mean, we just had so much fun. Kent got his badge, of course. And then we drove through a city called Vernal, Utah. I think that's where I ended up recording last week's podcast. But they had dinosaur statues everywhere, which was so fun. The drive through Utah was absolutely stunning. We started out our journey to Las Vegas, which is where we needed to be last week. So we were driving through Utah towards Las Vegas. We did part of that on Sunday night and then the rest of it on Monday. We drove into Arizona and the landscape completely changed. That's what my notes say. I don't remember because this was now 2 weeks ago. So you're just going to have to see it from the video. And then we made it into Nevada for the first time. We are back today, but made it for the first time. And then we actually took about 5 days off from the van. So we dropped our van off. It needed some maintenance. It was making this funny sound. So we had this whole plan where we were going to drop the van off. We we're going to stay at one hotel. And then the next day we we're going to drop Toaster off at a sitter, stay at a hotel, and then fly to Texas for a wedding. And that all worked out pretty well. So we stayed at Excalibur for one night, and Vegas, if you've been to the Vegas hotels, they're very silly. Their themes are over the top, and this was no exception. It was very, very funny. Toaster just absolutely loves staying at hotels, so he got comfy right away. And then the most exciting thing about us going to Vegas to fly is that the Dallas Stars were playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and so we got to go to the game. And this was a game like 3-4 maybe of the playoff game. No, game 3 of the playoffs for the first round, and the Stars won, which was super exciting. So it was so fun. And then afterwards we went to Whataburger because we felt like a Texas win deserved a Texas meal, and it was like the best Whataburger we've ever had, and it wasn't even in Texas. On Tuesday, we had a second day in Vegas, but we actually did a lot of work. We had a second hotel room because our original plan was not to get to Vegas on Monday. It was to get to Vegas on Tuesday, stay one night, fly out the next day. So we had to switch hotel rooms. So there was about 3 hours where we had nowhere to be. So Toaster and I just stayed in the lobby, and I like worked on my computer, and people were so cute coming by and like, oh, your dog is so good. He's so sweet. And then a little dog comes in off leash into the hotel, and Toaster like goes crazy. I mean, he's not the most well-behaved dog around other dogs, but I was like, yeah, he's not that good. I promise. He really is good. I love him. Anyway, it was fun. But then we had a really early date night dinner. We dropped Toaster off. We went to get sushi at like 4:45, and it was so good. And then we went to bed super early. I think I went to bed at 7 o'clock because I needed to get up at like 3 or 4 to make our flight. We stayed at the Luxor on this night. And the cool thing about the Luxor is the elevator is not an elevator. It's called something else, it's not an escalator, it's not an elevator. It goes diagonal, and it was really interesting. So I took a picture of that to share. Oh goodness, what is happening? Lots of talking on the radio. Okay, hopefully you can't hear that. On Wednesday, we had an early flight to Dallas. We were flying into Dallas to then drive to Austin for a wedding. Went shopping for some wedding clothes because in the van, we don't keep anything fancy or nice. Like, all I have are t-shirts to wear. My fanciest thing is jeans. Like, I don't have anything. So I bought a dress to wear to the wedding. And then I kind of took myself on a little oh no, that was the next day. What did we do? Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm like going through my notes and I'm like, what happened? This was so long ago. We had a Texas lunch at Taco Bueno. That was great. And then we stayed with our friend Eric, who we've stayed with quite a few times before. And he has a really sweet dog named Summer, and she loves to play fetch with her Gumby. So I played fetch with her for a little bit. So, okay, now we get to Thursday. So on Thursday, I took myself on a little solo date, which was very, very fun. I wanted to get a pedicure because I hadn't had one in so long, and my feet looked really rough. So I wanted to have a pedicure to look nice for the wedding. And then I went to get lunch on my own, and it was just really, really lovely. And then we ended that night with Korean barbecue with all of Kent's friends. I'm not being quick, am I? I need to actually be quick. Oh, another truck just got here. So on Friday, we drove down to Austin. We made a stop at the Czech stop, which has kolaches and all kinds of pastries, which is so good. And then I didn't really take much video of the weekend because we were doing wedding stuff. I felt like that's kind of private, and it was a really good time. We stayed at a really beautiful area it was called a glamping area. We had a really cool cabin. The whole weekend was super lovely. On Saturday, I got to sit and read on the patio in a porch swing. And then I spent most of the day with a girlfriend of one of the guys that was in the wedding, and she is an embroiderer. So she embroidered and I knitted while we watched TV together. It was so great. And then the wedding was amazing. We danced all night. It was so much fun. And then Sunday we drove back to Dallas. We immediately dropped our stuff off at our friend Eric's house, got on the train, and went to the Stars game. And that was game 7, and they won. And they moved on to the second round of the playoffs, which was super, super cool. Kent is ecstatic. He loves the Dallas Stars. And of course, he would love to see them keep on winning. So Fingers crossed. Now we're into this past week. So, okay, wait, hold on. I didn't label this right. I have this labeled as the next podcast, and it's still podcast 228. See, I was all prepared, and then it didn't happen. Okay, so last week we went to Great Basin National Park, which was pretty. It wasn't like the most standout park that I've ever been to, but it was really nice. We did some nice drives and a teensy bit of hiking. Then we started the drive back to Utah. We had a yarn store tour to get to and got to stay at my new friend Cindy's house. She's a Love and Stitches member, and we got to like meet and chat. I mean, we'd already met actually. We'd met at DFW Fiber Fest, but we got to actually hang out. They let us stay at their house, which was so nice. Another reprieve from van life, which is why I think we're feeling pretty refreshed right now to get back into the van, and it feels really nice to do so. At the Great Basin, back to the Great Basin National Park, or was it a national monument? It might have been a national monument. There was a knitting project called the Tempestry Project. And I'll put the link for this down below. It was a temperature tapestry, so Tempestry, and they had the park temperatures from 1916 next to the park temperatures from 2016, and like every temperature range had a color, so it was done in the whatever knitting stitch they did. It was very, very cool. Okay, on Wednesday we got to go to Pettifours and Pearls, which is a really lovely yarn shop south of Salt Lake City in Lehigh. We got to have tea, we got to film, we got to hang out all afternoon. You're going to see all of that very, very soon. And then that night I went with my friend Cindy to the Salt Lake City Guild meeting, and we learned about knitting with beads from one of the members. So it was super fun. On Thursday, we went to see the state capitol. We like to do that in every state that we can. So we went to the state capitol in Salt Lake. Then we went to two yarn stores. We went to See It Stitch in Bountiful, which is where I got some of my yarn. We also got some yummy coffee and treats while we were in Bountiful. And then we went to Golden Spike. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop because now there's music on. Oh no, stop. It's so funny filming out here. It's just so interesting to like watch all the cars go by. I know you can't see it, but it's like I get to watch a show while I'm filming a show. It's a show within a show. We went to Golden Spike, the NPS site, and it is where the east and the west railroads like were finally completed and connected. And then we went to Ogden, Utah, which is where Kent's dad grew up. And we went to the Needlepoint Joint, another yarn store we got in just before they closed. We also went to dinner at the Prairie Schooner, which is a restaurant where every table is like a covered wagon. It was very kitschy, but the food was quite good. And then we ended the night at Farr's for ice cream, and my ice cream was delicious. I got extreme moose tracks and a coffee one. It was so good. And on the next day, we went to Craters of the Moon, which was pretty cool. It did look otherworldly in a lot of spots. There was a lot of lava flow and everything. We went through Twin Falls, so pretty in Twin Falls, like jaw-droppingly stunning. We went to Swig. If you have been to Utah and even actually some parts of Idaho, there are all these soda shops. Actually, now they're like open in Texas too, but all these soda shops where you can get these wild soda combinations. So like a regular soda, like a Dr. Pepper or Coke, and then mixed with like all these flavors and half, and like things you wouldn't think would be good, but are very, very good. Then we made it all the way to Idaho. Idaho is our let me look at my notes, our 28th state, which is so exciting, and our 23rd state to film in. And we, I just opened up the wrong thing. We made it for their knit night. They do something really cool where they have a morning makers meetup and an evening makers meetup. So the morning one is on Wednesdays, the evening one is on Fridays, and it's until 9 o'clock. So even if you're somebody who works late, you can still make it, which I really like that. We drove out of the city, out of Boise then, to see the Northern Lights. Kent spent hours outside taking amazing photos, looking at the sky, talking to people. and I was like, I'm like extroverted out for the day, and I'm just gonna watch YouTube, and you can let me know when it's happening. But we couldn't really see much, like mostly just white, but some of the pictures Kent took was really, really good. Okay, I have a few days missing in here. I'm telling you, it's been quite the last week, but let me try to remember from the best to my memory. So we were to Saturday, which was just yesterday. I can do this. So yesterday we started out the day at Three Loves filming at their yarn store. So we have quite a few yarn store tours coming up. We're gonna start posting them on Saturdays, starting this next Saturday with Tempe Yarn and Fiber that we went to a few months ago. So I'm gonna start doing those as premieres. I will share more on that. So we started out the day filming. Okay, trucks are gone now, but I did totally lose my train of thought. Anyway, I think I was talking about maybe Three Loves Yarn. I know I was talking about yesterday, but we had the best time there. We filmed in the morning, and then Erica, the owner, and I went and got coffee, and we just chatted and we knitted, and that was so fun. I don't think I've had an opportunity yet to do that with an owner where we just get to hang out, and Kent was so gracious. He stayed back and finished filming all of our B-roll. It takes us anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, sometimes longer, depending on what we're doing, to film those yarn store tours. So the fact that Kent stayed behind and got all the shots that we needed was just amazing. It was such a gift for me. And I had a lot of fun. And then we went back to Three Loves and just hung out a little longer. And after that, we wanted to go try the Idaho food, which is finger steaks. So we went to West Side Drive-In, which was super, super cute. And we got onion rings. No, we didn't get onion rings. What did we get? We got chili fries and finger steaks and tried a bunch of stuff, and we had a great end to our day. We stayed last night at a campground and got Lydia all cleaned up on the inside, got laundry done, got to take like a really nice long shower this morning, you know, shave my legs, just the little things. And so I'm feeling good and refreshed. And we are now back in Nevada. We are on our way to Reno for our next yarn store tour, which is going to happen tomorrow morning. So next week I will be back on schedule podcasting, and I promise you I will be doing a better job keeping up with what we're doing, writing my notes a little bit better, and remembering things. It's just been quite the last week. Two new videos have come out since I last podcasted. The first one is my daily knitting routine. So of course, every day is completely different, but there are certain times a day I try to hit and I try to knit, and I have certain projects that I work on then. So I try to capture that in this daily knitting routine. It's pretty much a vlog of one day in our van, but also just different things that I do throughout the day to make sure I get at least a little bit of knitting or crochet into every single day. And then the next video that came out is my cozy along vlog. So this one is also vlog style, but it kind of captures several different days from the first 2 weeks of the cozy along. So I have the projects that I'm working on that I showed today in a little more detail or a little more progress, like throughout the progress. And then I also have Leslie on there for like just a little bit, sharing what she's planning to work on. So just kind of a fun, easy going vlog. Now, coming up next week, I am going to be making a video for hiking and knitting, sharing my tips about how I have discovered that I really love to at first I learned that I love to walk and knit, and I've been doing that for a little while, but then my love of hiking and knitting, it's just so fun. And whether you want to do this or not, you may be like, I'm never ever gonna hike. I feel like you can still use some of the things to help you in a public space when you're bringing your knitting or your crochet. So I'll be sharing that one next week, and I'm really excited about it. But even more importantly, please mark your calendars for Tuesday, May 26th, because it is going to be the Sock Week sponsor reveal. So I haven't decided on the time yet. I think I traditionally do it at noon because I like to do it as a live, noon Eastern time. But I will let you know once I get the video recorded. I'm still getting in all of the different Sock Week products. They will not be going on sale on that day. They will not go on sale on Tuesday, May 26th. They will just be revealed. And then about a week and a half will go by. They will go on sale Friday, June 7th. And I will share more info about that too. But this is a date that all of my sponsors' hard work gets to be revealed. You get to see all the fun products that will be available for Sock Week this year. And I will have the merch available for purchase. So it's so much fun. This has been, every year just gets bigger and better, and I just love Sock Week. It's so fun. So Sock Week itself will actually be happening in July, but I'll be sharing lots of information on that as we get closer. Okay, I have a ton of yarn crawls to share with you. Every single week I get a few more in my inbox, so I'm just gonna list these out, and all the information will be linked down below. The Puget Sound Local Yarn Store Tour is in Washington this weekend, May 15th through the 19th. The LA County Yarn Crawl is in California. Is that right? Why don't I have the... Okay, for some reason I don't have the state on this. I need to fix that. But it is May 17th through the 19th, so also coming up this weekend. The Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Festival is happening in Lexington, Kentucky, May 18th and 19th, so also coming up this weekend. A little further down the road, we have the Slow Yarn Crawl in the Pacific Northwest. It's in Washington and Oregon, May 24th through September 2nd. I think that's the first time I'm sharing that one, so thank you. I think it was Nicole that shared that with me. The Cowboy Yarn Crawl is happening in Wyoming, May 27th through September 2nd, the entire, from Memorial Day to Labor Day. The Virginia Blue Ridge Yarn Crawl is happening May 25th through June 1st. Flag Wool and Fiber is happening in Flagstaff, Arizona on June 1st and 2nd. I think that's the first I'm sharing that one as well. The Utah Yarn Crawl is happening July 13th through the 20th. The Arkansas Yarn Crawl is July 19th through the 27th. And the Chicago Yarn Crawl is July 20th through the 28th. If you have any events, yarn crawls, festivals that you want to share with me, retreats, please send me an email. That's the best place to communicate that with me. I only recently have finally gotten to where I am managing all of my most essentials, like my emails and my other admin, that I'm able to allocate some time to trying to clear my DMs on Instagram. So that happens every few weeks. DMs on Instagram are not the most reliable place anyway, but it's especially hard when I myself am not doing a good job keeping track. So if you want to reach me with something important, send me an email, knittynatty@gmail.com. That is it for today. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful day. Thanks for dealing with all of the noises. It's so funny. The last car just pulled away. There is no one here anymore, which is quite hilarious. But I think that's kind of what makes this whole thing fun. It's different every single time. You never know what you're going to get. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.